Hi there, it's Tracy here. Have you ever thought, I don't know, I just don't feel like myself lately, or I don't know, like I'm confused and I don't know what I want anymore? I want you to know you're not alone. And sometimes what happens is we lose connection with the version of ourselves that we were created to be. And we're doing all the right things, making all the moves, but somehow feeling like we're missing the mark. In the last video, I talked about 3 key truths. I talked about how values are your identity anchors. They remind you of who you are, particularly in moments of stress and pressure. They're also powerful stress reducers because clarity simplifies decision making. And misalignment isn't failure, it's simply a signal, a sacred nudge to realign and reevaluate. In this video, it's part 3 of the Coach Aligned mini-series on rediscovering your core values. And today I'm going to walk you through a step-by-step powerful process. It's called a Values Elicitation Process that will help you realign with your purpose and your sense of inner peace, authenticity. So grab a notebook, pen, and if you haven't already, download the Internal Compass worksheet. That's a free download attached here. I think if you have a look in the bio, you'll find a link there. I don't quite have enough subscribers to put the link in the comments. That's what's happening there. Because we're going to get practical, personal, and meaningful. So here's the truth. So much of the confusion, indecision, and stress that we carry in our everyday life is actually rooted in misaligned values. When we're out of sync, it's not necessarily because we're failing in life. It's often because we haven't clearly articulated what matters most to us. Now, this process is how you come back to center, how you come back to alignment, because you actually identify what your core values are. So the first step in the values elicitation process, and there's 5 steps all up. The first step is you gather your values. So look through the values list that is in the download, and I want you to become a word gatherer. I want you to get really curious, like a kid exploring a theme park. Create a list of at least 20 words that spark something in you, words that stir your heart, inspire you, or reflect the emotional states or qualities that you really crave in your life right now. Some tips: trust yourself, please. Do not overthink it. Very often your first thought, your first response is the correct response. Choose words that really energize you and inspire you. Avoid neutral words, beige words that are a bit meh. Go for vibrant, emotional packed language for you. For someone, stability and security might really inspire them. For somebody else, it might be courage and adventure. It is so deeply personal. Focus on conceptual qualities, not objects. For example, maybe you've always really wanted your own home. That's really important to you. Creating a sanctuary, that might actually be reflective of a value of stability. Or maybe you've wanted a combi van or your own 4-wheel drive. That might be reflective of a value of adventure or freedom. Finally, explore. Use a thesaurus, a dictionary, play with word families. If you see a word that you don't know what it means, look it up. Don't rush. Make it a lot of fun, because this is about you crafting and creating language that gives expression to the sort of woman you want to become. The second step is filter and refine. Now, you have a long list, group similar words together. Look for patterns. Words like bravery, courage, adventure, risk all might speak to a deeper desire for living a bold life. Ask, are some of these values already integrated quite naturally in your life? If so, you can exclude those. You might also like to ask which values feel like they need more intention and focus right now. This helps you move from feeling a bit cluttered to really clear, because what you want to do is you want to come to step 3, which is where you prioritize your top 5. I know it can be a bit hard, but you got this. From your refined list, I want you to choose your top 5 values, the ones that truly define who you are and who you are becoming. So again, some questions to ask. Which values feels essential to my identity? And you can do that if you look through your refined list, and if you would go, what is the number 1 value that I could not live without? So that's a great place to start when you create a bit of a hierarchy. Another question, if you could only live 1 value, which would it be? Another question, what would guide me through a tough decision? That's a good one. What would I be looking for in a tough decision? Then you rank them, and that creates this, like I said, a hierarchy to help you navigate real life choices when values might seem to compete. Here's another little hint. I often tell clients it's okay to date these values for a little while. You don't have to marry them straight up. So just make a decision, identify your top 5, even just be a little bit playful about it and see how it fits. I know that over the last 2 decades, some of the words have shifted, but the emotional states are the same. I have brave written on my arm, but I often refer to my core value as being courage, but it's the same. The 4th step, wrap them up in your own words. I want you to wrap all of these values with your own language. Now it's time to define each of the 5 values in your language. This is where these words come alive. You get to define what each of those words mean. So you can go and have a look at your dictionary definitions and your thesaurus, but you can go beyond that. For example, integrity might look like showing up fully, truthfully, even when it's uncomfortable or inconvenient. You might define, if you had a value of compassion, as choosing kindness, even when it's hard. So let your words reflect your voice and your vision for the life that you want to create. 5, this is your 5th and final step. Values are not values lived or honored until there's action associated. We don't do what we say or think, we do what we believe. So you need to honor each and every value with action. And this is where the real transformation happens, linking your values to behaviors. Ask yourself this question: how will I know when I'm honoring this value? Again, some examples. Courage might be having hard conversations, sharing honestly, taking new risks. Creativity might be, I'll know when I'm honoring my value of creativity because I will schedule time for art, for play, or for problem solving. What about connection? You might honor the value of connection by being fully present in conversations. Put away the iPhone. It might be prioritizing quality time with key people, scheduling it in your diary. So you're actually quantifying what your values will look like in your life. Here's some ideas to even deepen this practice. Close your eyes and visualize success. What does a day of honoring this value look like? Even more importantly, what will it feel like? Create some rituals. For example, journaling 3 gratitudes for a value that you really want to leverage or appreciate in your life right now. Set reminders on your phone, little quotes, sticky notes, or visual cues. I have a bracelet that I don't have it on today, but normally I wear, and on the inside, a good friend gave it to me as a gift for my 50th birthday, and it's got all of my 5 core values engraved on the inside. It's very special. Reflect regularly. check in monthly. What's aligned? What needs to be adjusted? One of the future videos, I'll talk about my ideal week. That's a really cool little tool. So your values are more than words. They're your internal compass. They're how you come back to yourself. They're how you create a life that's grounded in intentionality and how you live fully alive. Again, this isn't about perfection. It's about presence and choosing to live in alignment with who God created you to be. So here's your invitation. Download the internal compass worksheet and walk through this process yourself. Let's be honest. You've got to search your soul a little bit here, and you have to be truthful to yourself. This is just between you and God. Let it be the start of something really sacred and special. And if this series has spoken to you at all, I'd love you to comment below. Put some of your values, or maybe your number one value. That would be awesome. Share one of your top 5 values, and maybe share how this process has impacted you. Let's live aligned. Let's live fully alive. Grab that worksheet, subscribe so you never miss a conversation. There's lots more to come, so bye for now.